during International Women's Day. The best woman I know is actually in the hospital in Baltimore right now, my mom. Thank you for lifting up in prayer. You all have come so far in terms of personal achievement, self-achievement as it were. Standard & Poor wrote in 2015 that women have done a great job of breaking the ceiling, the glass ceiling, in terms of being representative CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. With that, women only represent 5% of that environment. So you've achieved much, but the journey continues. The one area where you are overrepresented, unfortunately, is the area of victimization. And victimization is a broad catch-all term that applies to anything from religious and social subjugation to terrorism and general street crime. What I'd like to do today is share some things with you that typically are reserved for people in sterile environments with TS or higher clearances, meaning top secret or top secret. However, I think it's more important to share with you some personal security dynamics rather than rest on protocol. So with that, I like to travel with an RDF. It's a little mini debugger. This is for your personal safety and security, especially as diplomats. It'll pick up a listening device within 5 or 10 feet. And then if there is a camera secreted in your room, typically by looking through my viewer here, the red lights will illumine on the camera lens. I can tell that I'm being photographed. I always travel with a smoke mask. It's not the fire that's going to kill you. It's the smoke inhalation. Essentially what this is, just a plastic bag with 5 layers of charcoal. So in the event of a fire, you simply pull the bag over your head. And if you were the subject of enhanced interrogation, you keep it there, but you're not. So you pull the bag over your head, you wrap it around your throat, and the 5 layers of charcoal allow for 15 minutes of oxygen. This is standard fare for anyone working in commercial air. You can get it on Amazon for about $35. There's a cord that's following me here. Sorry, again, I have academic ADD. I want to focus narrowly on kidnapping as pertains to commercial air travel and your use of hotels. You're diplomats. You stay in hotels. Now, typically, the kidnapping is going to start while you're in air descending into your country. From an intelligence point of view, know this. If you're traveling to any of the 15 states that make up the UAE, if you're traveling to North Africa, if you're traveling to Southeast Asia, and parts of Latin America, if you're flying first class, the intelligence community is listening to your communication. Your headsets are bugged. And so, if you want them to know about it, don't talk about it, quite honestly. The kidnap capital of the world for the United States is which city? Phoenix.
Oh, wow.
Phoenix, the cartels. The kidnap capital of the world in terms of the world is still Latin America, starting way north in Mexico, working all the way down to Brazil. Brazil happens to border every country in South America, with the exception of Paraguay and Uruguay, which is why it's a very dangerous environment. So you are descending into your country, and so you're flying from LA to Mexico City. You're descending, sorry, coming out of a bout of bronchitis, and you're filling out your customs declaration card. Now, what you don't want to do is ever put the name and address of your resort, because the customs officers are working for the cartels.
Wow.
So you always memorize another location. So it starts in air. So then you land at customs. You're speaking to the customs officer, and they speak English as well. You give them a phony address, a phony resort. They're going to take that card, and they're going to call a municipal police officer, because kidnapping is a team effort. They're going to call a dirty cop, and he's going to call the concierge at that resort, and they're going to work towards kidnapping you. Ladies and gentlemen, going to a 5-star resort in most parts of the world is equal to going to bed at night and leaving your door open.
Wow.
Hotels are very dangerous. Why? Number one, access. Everyone in the hotel has access to your room. Do you realize that? Number two, you didn't place the safe in that room. So you're going to put your passport in the safe that you didn't install? Don't you think that they can gain access to your safe? When you travel, you keep everything with you. My passport stays in a little sandwich bag that's waterproof, and it stays with me all the time. Take a photocopy of the ID page of your passport and keep it in your phone. In the event that you lose your passport, you can fall back to a consul of the U.S. Embassy. So you get to your room. I like to make sure that I take my clients to their room. I leave them in the hallway and I clear the room. Why? Because the kidnappers are waiting in the closet. We learned this 3 years ago when a Texas executive, a female executive, traveled with her team to Mexico City. They took her to the room, and then they went to their rooms, and the kidnappers were waiting in the closet. They shot her up with sodium barbitol, which is really just a barbiturate, and they walked her out of the hotel. Hotel staff will poison you. When you call for a medical doctor, the doctor offers to give you an injection, reject it. I was poisoned 3 years ago. The police officers will kidnap you. My iPhone kept me from getting kidnapped because when I travel, I follow an operational plan with the Department of State, a resident security officer. When I was in Cochabamba, Bolivia, 2 officers were attempting to kidnap us, and I gave them my iPhone and I asked them to open up my email. They read the string of email between me and the State Department. They knew I was being tracked. They gave me back my phone, they got in their car and they drove away. So you have to know how you're getting out of the country before you get there. And I share this with you because as females, you're overrepresented in terms of crime. You should be traveling with the same safety and security as your male counterparts. I recommend a wristband anti-kidnap kit. A wristband anti-kidnap kit is pretty cool. It's a little kit that is worn beneath the wristband of your watch. Because the handcuff key is polymer, you can get through a metal detector. Because the Kevlar cord is like piano wire, which is designed for cutting through tape and other restraints, it gets through metal detectors. And because the ceramic blade, which is the size of your nail, is ceramic, it's glass, it gets through metal detectors. That is used to cut the face or throat of your kidnapper. The concierges at most of the hotels work for the cartel. So what I like to do, I spend most of my life disseminating false information. So I land in country, go to the concierge, and I ask for a recommendation regarding a steakhouse or whatever the case may be, expecting them to pass that information on. And I'm hitting the other side of the town. So I'm sending any would-be surveillance in another direction. When you're kidnapped in the United States by a professional gang, how many days do they spend surveilling you? Anyone want to offer? 30 days.
Oh.
When you're kidnapped overseas or in South America, they're surveilling you for no more than 12 to 24 hours because they need to grab you quickly. Unless you're an expatriate and you're living there, and then they have the option for doing full surveillance on you. They're not going to grab you at home, and they're not going to grab you at work. They're going to grab you while en route. They're going to grab you while you're in the vehicle. The one and only time that you have the opportunity to escape a kidnapping is during the actual kidnap attempt. Action beats reaction. So if you put a gun in my face and I grab the muzzle, I can grab the muzzle before the person can fire because this person's brain is thinking, oh my God, is he actually reaching for my gun? And the action is beating the reaction. Similarly, when they are attempting to kidnap you, the fact that you're fighting back and you're running and screaming, that is actually disabling their equilibrium in terms of what they expected from you. They expected you to be docile. Now, I have to teach my clients how not to get killed. If you were someone with a solid personality, don't give the kidnappers a reason to kill you just because they don't like you. Some of you have friends or family who probably wouldn't fare very well. I encourage you to go out and get a Walmart wallet and fill it with fake family photos. You need to appeal to their sense of humanity. You need to use names, you need to reference children. I also encourage you to get kidnap insurance. AIG, Chubb, Lloyd's of London, they all sell kidnap insurance, but they're going to be very dishonest with you. And they're not going to like me telling this, but if they don't like it, they can sue me. When you buy your anti-kidnap policy, what they're not going to tell you is that should you need to utilize the policy, when you contact the representative for payment, they're going to negotiate. They're going to hire a professional ransom negotiator or someone like myself to bring the price down before they let you go. If we're working together, essentially I'm going to say, listen, let's call your accountant, let's put a slush fund aside of $100,000 or whatever. In the event that you're kidnapped, have them call this number, let's get you back. That's all we want. We don't want to do an investigation. We don't want to go up on a Title III wiretap. We just want to get you back. So with that, I think I've utilized my time. I want to thank you so much for your patience. One last thing, the meme, the hashtag meme is be bold for change. I want to be bold for change for you. I hope that I've changed your life in the last 10 minutes. I do. Thank you. I think we have